There are 339 books in the Rory Gilmore Reading Challenge, and I'm going to read all of them, and I mean every single last one of them. The Reading Challenge includes all of the books that Rory Gilmore read or talked about during the run of the highly popular mid-2000s TV series Gilmore Girls. Now, to put an additional spin on the challenge, I'm going to read the books in random order, so stay until the end of the video where we spin the wheel to find out what our next book in the challenge is going to be. Hi guys, and welcome back to the challenge. So today we have book 16 in the challenge already. We have a mystery classic today from 1886, I believe. So this is probably one of the oldest books I've ever read. And it is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. It's quite a short read, it's a short book, it's only about 140 pages. So yeah, let's see what it is about and let's get straight into it. But as always, please let me know in the comments below if you do know where or when Rory Gilmore talked about this book or she read this book during the run of the series Gilmore Girls. Alright, let's get into the book. So I had a little bit of a mishap with this book. When we spun the wheel to select this book last week, I was thinking like, oh, okay, yeah, this sounds interesting. I've always wanted to read this book. Turns out I kind of mixed it up with Frankenstein's monster. I don't know, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Frankenstein's monster. It's a different story. It's something completely different. I don't know, guys, what happened there, but to me, I kind of mixed them up. But anyway, maybe Frankenstein's monster is somewhere down the road in the challenge. I'm not even sure if it's on the list or not. But today we are talking about The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So in a nutshell, what is the book about? What is the plot about? It's about a lawyer, Mr. Utterson. So he has a friend who is also his client, which is Dr. Jekyll. And one day Dr. Jekyll basically hands him a new will, a new testament, that in case he should die or he should disappear, then his money and all his real estate and everything should go to this mysterious Mr. Hyde, who nobody knew, who nobody knows. And Mr. Utterson is like very taken aback by this kind of request, but he, of course, being professional as he is, he keeps the will with himself and, you know, also intends to follow through with it in case something should happen. But then more and more things start to happen around this creature, Mr. Hyde, and he starts hearing about some bad stories that, you know, he kind of hurt a little girl, and you know, these kind of things start happening around that personality, Mr. Hyde. And it's just starting to occur to Mr. Utterson that this may be a bad influence on his friend Dr. Jekyll. So he is starting to try and find out who this Mr. Hyde is, why he gained the trust of Mr. Jekyll, and why he deserves to be the final beneficiary of the final will and testament of Dr. Jekyll. That's basically how the story starts and how what the plot revolves around. Now, what did I think about this book? So to me, it was very wordy. And the funny thing is, it was a short book. Yes, it's only 140 pages, but it still felt very, very long to get through, because it's just nothing happens that keeps the plot exciting or that pushes the plot ahead. It's just very, very slow going, and a lot of meaningless dialogues and meaningless conversation that also do not lead to a lot of character development. It's just very plain kind of dialogues, and I don't know, maybe that was kind of the writing style of this particular author or during that particular time, but I didn't find it engaging at all, I have to say. And then on top of that, to find out that this big whole mystery in the end is basically, sorry, spoilers ahead, this big mystery is basically just a combination of actual magic, like mixed with schizophrenia, is just such a letdown. It's like you're wondering what is going on throughout all of the book, and then there's this like big reveal at the end, and it's just such a boring reveal. It's just such cliche, we would say nowadays, of the outcome of a book. It's basically as if you would be writing a book and then a lot of absolutely crazy things happen, and then in the end you would write, the title character woke up and everything was a dream. That's how I felt at the end of this book. So it was very anticlimactic, I would say, for me. Very disappointed, actually. This is like one of the big classics, and it just didn't connect with me again. So maybe it's just me and classics that don't work. I don't know. Might be my fault. But I'm really kind of getting exhausted by all these supposedly amazing books that I'm reading in this Rory Gilmore Reading Challenge, and it just doesn't click with me like any of these books, or at least most of these books. The coolest thing in this book basically was that it like contains the most cringe dad joke written ever in a book, I would assume. So at one point, Utterson is like, okay, if he's gonna be Hyde, I'll be Seek. So I was reading this and I was like, oh my god, this is so cringe. This is such a dad joke. So I'm glad that was in there. It actually had me chuckling out loud, which does not happen a lot while reading a book. So that was great, yeah. But that's like one moment in reading a whole book. There was no real character development in these books, like Dr. Lanyon and then Jekyll, Utterson, like all of these people felt like one and the same person. They had basically the same personality. There's not much change between them. There was not even like, apart from like the difference between Hyde and Jekyll, there's not even a lot of like physical description of a person's characteristics in there, so that you could like form a picture within your mind of these people. But it's just not there. And I'm sorry, I felt very disappointed by it. So going into a rating here, I guess you can more or less assume where this is ending up. So for me, it didn't click. The story was flat. The mystery wasn't really there. It's also tagged as horror on Goodreads. Where is the horror? Yeah, maybe if there's a play or a movie made about it, yeah, I can see how you could make a horror story kind of out of that, but definitely not just simply by reading the book. There, like, emotions were missing, mystery was missing, plot development was missing for me. And I'm very sorry to have to rate one of the top English classics as a 2 out of 5 stars, but that's what it was for me. And I always try to not feel intimidated by these huge classics. I take it as it is, as a work of art, as a book. So I'm really trying not to get influenced by like the kind of aura that these classics have around themselves. And I'm just trying to judge the book for what it is for me, how it feels for me. And the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was definitely not something for me. I'm glad and grateful that it was a short read. And I also do feel like that's the one thing where I can say, like, with these classics, because you hear these names so often, I am glad and grateful for every and each one of them that I do read, especially in this challenge, because it feels like some of these stories you just need to know. It's almost like if you're an avid reader, it's almost like general knowledge to know these kind of classic stories. So I'm kind of glad I'm getting to check off quite a lot of like open books that I wanted to read anyways within this challenge. But yeah, guys, I'm sorry, just I didn't feel it with this book, but please do let me know in the comments below if I misunderstood anything about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. What did you like or love about the book? If you enjoyed it, I would love to know about your opinions. Yeah, please let me know. But yeah, that's basically it for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So you guys know what is coming now. We are going to spin the wheel to select the book for next week that we are going to read in the challenge. So let's do that. Okay guys, so it looks like we have 323 books left in the challenge. So let's get right into it. Spin the wheel, see what we get for next week. So 3, 2, 1, let's go. Let's see, what do we get? What do we get? Let's see. Come on. The Jumping Frog by Mark Twain. Oh, this has got to be interesting. I've never heard of the Jumping Frog. Obviously, I've heard of Mark Twain, but I did not hear about this story of his. Actually, quite looking forward to reading this. Yeah, so see you in the next week with my view on the Jumping Frog by Mark Twain. All right, thank you guys. See you soon. Bye bye.